Renegades have been struggling, as I said earlier on, so I hope they don't pick CT side. They're probably going to pick CT side. Makes me a bit sad. Alright, well, Dust 2 is going to be the first map here.
Renegades best of 5, so we're going to take a short break. God knows we're going to need it if this goes to all 5 maps. We'll be back right after this.
Flashbang's affected. They have got through the smoke wall here, but Chris J, he is the final boss of the bomb site.
Now Spitty and Chris J to keep Mousesports alive.
Oh, Chris! He's found 3! It's down to a 2-on-2! Chris, can he close this with an ace? Oh my god!
Can they actually close this out? Boom, Chris. Fantastic way to start, and no scopes on him himself. Absolutely saving Mousesports.
Hey, it's me, Lily from AT&T. I'm back, working from home, and here to help.
Hey Lily, I'm hearing a lot about 5G. Should I be getting excited?
Depends. Are you going to want faster speeds?
I will.
More reliability?
Oh, also yes.
Better response times?
Definitely.
Are you going to be making sourdough bread?
Oh, is that 5G related?
No, just like, why is everyone making sourdough now? But yes, you're going to want 5G.
AT&T is building 5G on America's best network. Visit att.com to learn more.
Trying to lose. is the sound. Are you complaining? I'm waiting for you to finish so I can start explaining.
It's grand finals time here. Rath and Pilsky. It seems again the storyline is true that Pilsky and I generally tend to agree, and Kev always likes to go out there a little bit with his predictions. Avant here, Kevin. What have you got to justify this one?
Look, I have the justification that with the map veto, right? No memes aside, they took Dust 2 off Renegades. They're going to be confident going into it, had the chance of taking Nuke as well. If they take those two and go into Mirage, there's actually a small chance of them closing out as a 3-1. Need the players to perform, and look, all I can say is my heart is with Hazard at the moment. I believe the young man can frag it up.
Okay, Pilsky, tell him why he's wrong.
Renegades have won every competition for like the last however long, except when they're overseas playing against better teams.
Cool. Cool story, bro. Not going to listen to
every
you.
Single
I believe
time.
with Avant.
Renegades win every single time.
They do indeed. They do indeed. Especially when they've got a 1-0 map advantage. I think that's the one real takeaway for me, right? Like, I can theoretically see Dust 2 going over to Avant, for example, but that's only going to equalize your scoreline. Then you move into Nuke, and Nuke's very tough to beat Renegades on. So, I mean, it really just feels like an uphill battle from the outset for Avant here.
Yeah, 100%. It was in the best of 5 format, but they did take 14 rounds in Nuke against Renegades. It was a 16-14 victory. Look, it was a Renegades victory, don't get me wrong. But it's just what I'm saying is there is a chance now. If Inferno came beforehand, I would have read them off a little bit, right? Because Inferno, I feel like, look, Renegades too strong with that. But Mirage, it's really anyone's game at this stage. Your riflers, if they start firing up on Mirage and your AWPer starts hitting your shots in the hands of Sterling, just maybe they can cause the upset. I'm still saying it's outside odds. I'm not saying it's like written in the bags. I just want an upset to happen.
I think we all want an upset to happen, although I'm not sure that we're really going to get it today. You know, like if we were going to see an upset, it was theoretically in the Road to Rio final where Order was up 12-3 on Inferno. And that's something that I have to sort of keep going back to as well when I'm looking at these kinds of matches, is that even if Avant, for example, were to get up 2-0, if they won Dust 2-1, but if they won Dust 2, if they won Nuke, even going into that third map, I'd probably still be feeling like Renegade's probably going to win this series.
Yeah. Look, the thing is, as far as Avant's concerned, really it's a case of just hanging in there and just taking it one map at a time. You look at the map pool, they have a decent map pool in the best of 5, especially when Overpass has been left till last, when when Vertigo has been taken out early on. They can play all of these maps. They've shown a decent amount of skill and proficiency on them. It's just a question of consistency, and I think Renegades is going to be the more consistent team across a larger sample size of maps. I do genuinely believe that a guy can probably take 1, if not 2 of these maps, but being able to win the series, that's what I keep saying. That's why I reiterate the point again. Avant has to win 3 out of 4 maps against Renegades in a high-pressure match for first place in the tournament for a reasonable amount of money. Even the Renegades that's playing not their A game on the day, I don't think it's likely.
No, indeed. It does look like a good map there, though, when you look at the statistics, when you base it off just purely the stats without any kind of context. Avant looks better on Dust 2. They've played more, they've got a better win rate, but in reality, when you have to think about this as Renegades perhaps playing stronger opponents of late, and obviously for Avant, it's a map where they do sometimes tend to bash the weaker teams in ANZ as well, perhaps inflating the statistics a little bit. Dust 2, though, is, I feel, the key for Avant. They need to win here on Dust 2, otherwise the series is over. And we head into Dust 2 as well with bated breath as we await the grand final here between Renegades and Avant in DreamHack Masters Spring ANZ. The two best teams in the Oceanic region, and it's Renegades that are quite heavily favoured by the odds, which is no real surprise. They'll start off on CT side here. And let's take a look at what Avant has for us on the pistol.
Yeah, heading very quickly over towards this B side of the map, and it's just 2 flashes, not even a smoke
Look at
for
that
door.
from Renegades.
Straight push up middle, like you were mentioning there, Jordan. They have a lot of information. They are taking this game, grabbing it by the balls, I guess, and Avant's looking to do the same, going straight into this B site.
Flashbang so far all right from the CTs, but a 1-for-1 does allow the bomb to cross over onto the site, but Dexter already fast on the flank will be able to make the situation even worse for Avant at this stage, 3-on-4.
Blitz hanging on though. And he's going to try and go on the aggressive. Alongside Hazard, it's Malta that salvages it somewhat back into the 2-on-2. But now Dexter falls, and it is Inns, the highlighted player, that has to clutch out the 1-on-2 in a pistol with not a whole lot of time to work with. He'll find the kill onto Hazard, and very nearly able to see APOC there as well. But the aim punch, just a little bit too much there for Inns, and it's Avant that will pick up the pistol.
Yeah, it's a good start from them. Get themselves rolling nice and early on. The T side really is the key for Avant, just to get that momentum going, just to get the confidence flowing. You know, it's a little bit earlier than some of these other matches that the teams have been participating in, actually in the daytime rather than running the matches later on into the night. So
yeah, and that's actually an interesting point I want to bring up, that Mac sort of sent me a message today, and he wanted to have his 2 cents on the analysis desk. Dexter starts off well against Hazard, so I might hold that thought for a moment. A double kill with the Deagle, how many more can he get? Looks like things have slowed down a little bit for Renegades here, but with the map control being taken out on towards long A, Hats is being a bit of a pest here as well.
Sterling's picked one towards long, but that's created the space for him to fall back, and Malta pushes through long hut after his teammate does go down, looking for information, pushing towards T-spawn. Hats leaves the B-bomb site to scout out middle. So some players for Renegades here in key positions as they see them going up short. That's going to signal Sicko to reposition himself into a better spot. Doesn't connect the first shot, unfortunately.
He has a scout in hand, though, and he's still alive. Can try to land these shots, but he's just missed way too many. Had the opportunity to take him down at least 2. That said, though, now Renegades fast on the flank. It looks like Malta's going to be charging straight in, but a great recovery coming in for Avant at this moment. Hats is at least able to do a little bit of damage over to Avant's economy, but they still take the round, even from an unfavorable situation.
Yeah, very, very winnable round there for Renegades, to be honest. Like, if Sicko even hits one of those shots, you really start to think, what could that round have turned into? Either way, Dexter, great work to start things off, but shouldn't matter too largely for Avant. They'll be able to buy back into the round, and Renegades do have to save here, so an opportunity for Avant to build that money back up off the couple of Mac 10s that they've got. And to circle back to my initial point that I was trying to make before Dexter gets that double kill, Mac was telling me that he believes Renegades will win this game because they are morning gamers and Avant are afternoon gamers, and he doesn't think that Avant are going to be awake enough to win this game yet.
I don't think Malta's ever awake considering his hit grandpa years, let's be realistic.
I mean, it is the PMs.
It is the PMs, yes. But
not the AMs.
It's still the early PMs.
So Avant to lose first map and then reverse sweep?
Well, I don't know that that's even really possible, really, is it? Like, when you think we've sort of set this whole thing up about them having to win Dust 2. So if they do win the first map, Renegades, then, I mean, in my mind, they just sort of run through Nuke as well.
Well, first gun round here for the Renegades. Getting Sicko on the AWP is a big key success factor. Sterling is going to be the man he's going up against, though. Although with the way that both of these players are playing, I don't imagine that it's going to be very many AWP-on-AWP duels. It's going to be more of a fact of how many riflers can both of the AWP players shoot. Avant grouping up towards tunnels here. Potentially wanting to go for one of those contact plays or flash through the skylight and just collapse on the bomb site, which has had pretty mixed success for a lot of teams. Either you hit those clean entries and you get straight into the site, or you just lose all of your...
Puta.
Still change it around. I'm a positive man. I've changed.
I'm a positive man. About that. Kevin Zoo, a positive man.
Can't believe you guys are doing me like this. I predicted Avant to win. You need positivity to do that. Or just a little bit of insanity. Maybe both. So.
bit of insane gameplay, because that's the kind of pace that Avant is setting up as APOC runs straight up short, hoping that he's able to hit a timing and catch some of these CTs off guard. Unfortunately, Sicko's just already posted up, and he walks straight into his crosshair, and Avant are going to have to play this round from a man deficit.
And immediately the response from Renegades starts to look quite good. Now, they're lacking a bit of utility in this round, but they have 2 players in the bank to play with. I'm sure for Renegades, they'd really like to get through this with all 5 of those players alive, just to build that CT economy up. It's been struggling so far. Not an option. Hazza looking sharp there, gets the kill onto Dexter, but a good trade through from Inns as he sees the smoke fade in front of him. Will prompt Avant to push quite quickly. Inns not burning alive in that molly, so he's quite safe to just sit there for now, which is a nice turn of luck for him, and gets bailed a little bit out there by Malta. Hats gets the final kill. Either way, Renegades do get their first on the board, and with 3 guns alive, it's a much better looking round for them.
Get a double orb rolling as well, which is not too bad. It is something that they do favour quite often, getting that secondary orb on this map. On Dexter. See if he's able to put it to use. A win in a round like this would definitely put a sizable dent in Avant's economy. And it looks like they're going back towards this B side of the map once again. But this time with Dexter on the AWP, it's a little bit of a different look that Avant might not necessarily be ready for.
Dexter gets some good damage done. The grenade will help as well, and Hats not checked up on top of the boost. A triple kill for him before eventually being traded down by Blitz. But the B defenders have done their job for Renegades. Blitz is on his own. Sicko will miss a shot. A little uncharacteristic for him there with the orb, but seems like he's going to take a little while to get rolling with the scopes. We saw earlier the scout not quite paying off for him. Either way, it shouldn't cost Renegades too much. A 1-on-3, a very solid position for them to play from here, but one wonders whether or not Blitz can make something of that mistake made by Renegades, and the answer is no. Inns will finish it 4-2, and Renegades again a 3-player left round, and that's another nice little sigh of relief for them as they start to put that money together.
Yeah, Renegades now shutting down the B side execute, so it's going to force Avant to take the short area and long control, and we haven't seen this bedroom fight erupt just yet. This is probably not the round that Avant want to be taking it, as they do go onto the pistols. And Renegades, this is a much better start now.
I mean, those 2 B plays towards Avant, man. I don't think I'm a morning caster, to be honest. Those 2 plays toward B for Avant pretty much summarise how these quicker plays towards the B side have been going for a lot of teams this tournament. One of them just shut down completely. It looked like they had a lot of trouble getting in there, but if you hit the clean entries into the site, it looks almost too easy sometimes. So that is unfortunately the risk versus reward factor of going for some of those plays like that. And Avant, it hasn't worked out from there, and they've had to go for a bit of a save in this round. So now Renegade's starting to get a few rounds back, trade a few rounds back, and that's good to see because
which is always a good start. They're the ones that own those anchor positions.
Bit of a slow round this time from Avant. They have learned from their transgressions in a couple of the previous rounds with those faster plays towards B, that this time now they will look to take map control before executing onto a bomb site.
It's walking their way through the map, but still the double orb for Renegades. Holding some angles. Sicko in combo with Inns, who's an anti-flash towards that short position. And Dexter just holding an off angle towards middle. Does bear fruit for him. Second time Dexter's found an AWP pick early on in these rounds, putting pressure on Avant to do something in this 4-on-5s. Let's see if they're going to recover better this time around.
That's a good recovery. Sterling's able to get the first pick. Is he going to expect Malta on the angle, though, is the real question.
That flash is going to not quite do enough. I thought Malta actually does catch it, and Sicko has to trade. Overall, 2 for 3.
Blitz also picking up pace, but what a shot coming out from Sicko.
Free haircut for Blitz there.
At the very least, the bomb hasn't dropped down, so Apoc's able to get it down. That's a little bit of cash for him to work with. Smoke also deployed as cover. There's now 3 individual deals he needs to isolate. The first one's probably going to have to be the CT player, that's Dexter. The other 2 members of Renegades have actually shifted over to the long area, trying to utilise the superior range of the AWP and the AK. Still a winnable round for APOC. The flash does not quite blind him too much, but missing some shots here onto Hats, and those are the opportunities that you do have to hold on to in a 1-on-3. So it'll go the way of Renegades again, their third round in a row now with 3 guns alive, and you can see what that's starting to do to the CT economy. They're really building that up a little bit. Avant, on the other hand, looking more and more poor, and a couple of nice shots actually from Csgo in this round. First that one onto Sterling, and then the second one here, which you'll see in just a moment. And like I said, you know, it took a little while maybe for Csgo to kind of get that ball rolling. He missed a fair amount of shots with the Scout and then with the AWP in the clutch situation on the B-bomb site. But once Csgo really gets rolling, he can take the game away from Avant here. Malta does fall, and here's another opportunity for Csgo as he smashes APOC through the smoke. His HE grenade will do a significant chunk of damage to Hazard and Blitz as well. And you can bet your bottom dollar that if Csgo gets rolling, this is going to be a rough game on Dust 2 for Avant.
100%, but Pistol's still threatening this area at the moment. Flashbangs have to be good, but you're not flashing him off the angle. He's free to keep peeking out, and that's the problem, because if you just allow Csgo to peek you, he's just going to destroy you all. And that is definitely not a good sign for Avant at this stage, because Sicko's been activated, he's hitting all the flickos, and you know what we say about that.
Not broadcast friendly. Anyway, I mean, like you said, Kev, it is only anti-eco, but an ace is definitely going to give Csgo a little bit more confidence, and that's a dangerous thing for sure. Once he starts hitting shots like that, you're going to be dropping players in the early to mid round. Even Dexter is finding some picks for Renegades early on, so Avant,
Please
if these
subscribe to
kind
my
of
stream.
issues continue to bother them, you will see them trying to play from a 4v5 deficit for a lot of these T rounds, and already it's not going too well for them.
Subscribe for more bet prediction.
Bit of a faster approach here as Avant make their way straight up short. Ins has been boosted up there in combination with Csgo though, and the pop flash only gets a 1-for-1, but it gets a handful of information here for Renegades as to where Avant is. And looks like things are going to slow down a little bit more in this 4-on-4.
Dexter up against Sterling. As now the B-bomb site truly isolated. Hats in a world of hurt most likely. Has to try to find these dual timings. A 1-for-1's just not good enough at the stage when they're down in the deficit. Yeah, unfortunately not quite enough for Renegades there. If he gets 2, maybe Csgo and Malta have a chance, but a 2-on-3 retake on the B-bomb site is an unlikely story. They have enough money to... maybe they don't have enough money to actually go for this. I will retract my statement. 5 rounds in a row for Renegades, but that drought has now been broken by Avant, as Renegades will opt to save. But it's a smart save. This will allow Renegades a good buy in round 11.
I'd say it's a bit of a passive save, but they do retain those double AWPs, and retake in a man deficit into the B-bomb site is just a very low percentage play. So you may as well just hold on to those AWPs, have a bit of a boost to that economy there.
Well, this is what you do your work for, right? You win 3 or 4 rounds with a few guns alive, and that's the exact reason, is that you can take a save like that and you can get something out of it, as opposed to just playing this round with maybe a couple of AWPs instead of a full proper buy. So good economy management from Renegades off the back of their 5 rounds won. Fair bit of money still in the back pocket there of Csgo as well, which may give them another opportunity to save and force behind it if things don't go too well in this round. But that really depends on how many guns they're able to take through.
Well, after looking for the initial pick towards B, in like Avant, starting to clear out long, maybe move towards catwalk after a boost in lower dark to see if anyone was going aggressive on short. Pretty standard sort of default looking round from Avant, moving through the map slowly, trying to punish any Renegades players looking for picks with those double AWP.
Puta, nag-off na may live stream, puta. Gago ata. Visit.
Someone that we definitely need to see activating for Avant, and if we can get a couple more rounds like that, you know, that's going to be what potentially pushes Avant over the line here on Dust 2. A bit of a fight from them. That's what you like to see here against Renegades. Don't let it be an easy run in for Renegades. You know, you've got to do it like exactly what Order was able to do in that rotation.